Hi, I'm Chuck Liebal. I'm the product manager for OPW FCS, and we're talking about our double wall edge spoke containment bucket here. So the double wall edge, the idea behind this is, when you have a spoke container in the ground now, you have to have everything grade accessible. You can't have you don't want to backfill and then have a problem and have to dig it up the concrete to be able to get to it. So you're asking about what the different compartments are in this double wall edge.
Correct.
This is actually the rock guard and bellows that protect the primary here and the secondary spaces, spoke containers in here. So when you bury this becomes a protective barrier around the replaceable cartridges. So if you have an issue with the primary, you can spin off the primary, you can spin off the secondary, and the riser below. It just keeps all the backfill and any of the concrete, separated from accessing those different areas.
Okay.
So this is an interstitial space here.
Mm-hmm.
So it's testable. We have a built-in test port way up high. You can plug in we have a vacuum tester. It just snaps right onto it. You don't have to remove any components to be able to test it. It's a permanent test fixture in there. You pull a vacuum test on it, you wait for 5 minutes, you look back and you make sure it hadn't dropped, I think, like 3 inches of water, and then it verifies that you have protected interstitial space. That's really nice because it tests both the primary and the secondary at the same time when you do that test onto it.
So then, basically with that test port, will I no longer have to perform a hydrostatic test on the bucket with the agencies?
Exactly right. That's exactly right. And actually that's a preferred way. We 100% test every one of these coming out of the factory. So what we do, we plug it in. It's same test fixture too. We plug it into it. We pull 15 inches of water, and you make sure it settles. So it takes like 30 seconds to settle the amount of vacuum pulled into it. So you wait maybe like 30 seconds to make sure it all settles. You adjust it back up to 15 inches of water, and then you wait 5 minutes. 5 minutes later, as long as it's above 12 inches of water, a vacuum, you have a good seal. That's the national standard for it.
Do you know if there's a preferred test method that's approved with the California Water Board?
I believe they follow that same test method for that. You would have to verify that through one of the TP documents. I don't know if it's 201. It's one of the TP 201s, but I think that is how they test those out there.
Okay.
They also do some of the other ones like the drop tube test and that sort of stuff to make sure that the drain valve is vapor tight as well.
Right.
But,
yeah. That's the other one. As far as the secondary containment portion.
Yeah.
So basically, you would have to. Yeah. The hydrostatic test.
You don't even
wouldn't even, because I want to make sure that the integrity of the secondary spaces, not just the primary but the secondary spaces.
Yeah. Actually, I just went out to Kentucky and I was teaching because they just started requiring double wall spoke containment in Kentucky. And they're like, well, we started this year, but we don't know how to test it. So they had us come in there, and we taught all the inspectors in Kentucky how to do this. And exactly like you say, we highly recommend doing the vacuum version, just because not only does it test the primary, but it tests that secondary. You do the hydrostatic test, you're filling up the spoke container with water. Now any of the residue that was in that spoke container contaminates water, so you have to dispose of this by the required methods on that. You fill this up with water and you take a measurement and then you wait 3 hours or something, or an hour. You wait an hour to come back. So by the time it takes to test one of these spoke containers, with the direct bury spoke bucket, when we do a hydrostatic test, they require an electronic sensor to test it. So it takes 15 minutes. So it's a half-hour test. Okay.
Yeah, you're still.
Yeah. By the time you test one bucket, it tests 4 times.
Yeah.
Yeah. Absolutely. Yes.